6:30-ish, so, it'll be before lunch.
Actually, here's the motion back here.
What's that?
This is just kind of an announcement.
Okay, we'll go through it.
Yep, this is fine. There's no error.
I guess, David, we kind of have the fun and games of pretending to do yes and no wrong on the adjournment resolution.
Right.
This one is a real, you know what I'm saying?
So you want me to
I guess
advise them?
unanimous consent goes first, right? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Unanimous consent goes first.
He's got it scripted, ask unanimous consent, but this is
I've got it
this is the
scripted
adjournment.
as to occur during,
Yeah.
at the adjournment time.
So,
Good morning. The hour of convening has arrived, and the Senate, what's here, will come to order. I'd ask at this time that all unauthorized persons exit the chamber. I'm running out of ways to describe your brilliance, your excellence, so we'll just stick with the chair recognizes the distinguished senator from the 53rd District.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a glorious day. No patting the tummy over here, but I'm enjoying my Mayfield's buttermilk this morning as we conduct our day, and with these men and women here ready to go to battle for the people of Georgia. And a moment in history, the Lego company invented Lego bricks that the senator from the 24th usually started his day with, and at night he finished it up with a little more adult beverage. Mr. President, the journal's been read and found to be correct.
Thank you again for those words of wisdom. Is there objection to dispensing with the reading of the journal? The chair hears none, and the reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there objection to the confirmation of the journal? Chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. All senators who have bills and resolutions, please bring them to the Secretary's desk at this time. Mr. Secretary, first reading of Senate bills and resolutions, please.
Senate Bill number 27 by Senators Thompson of the 14th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 43-14-15 of the OCGA relating to certain military certifications that entitled persons to obtain
Veterans, Military, and Homeland Security.
Senate Bill 28 by Senators Hatchett of the 50th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 11 of Title 15 of Title 19 of the OCGA relating to the Juvenile Code and Domestic Relations so as to strengthen, clarify, and update provisions relating to the
Judiciary.
Senate Bill 29 by Senator Anna Vitarte of the 31st, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 21 of the OCGA relating to elections and primaries generally.
Ethics.
Senate Bill 30 by Senators Beach of the 21st and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Title 50 of the OCGA relating to state government so as to provide for pari-mutuel horse racing in this state.
Regulated industries.
Senate Bill 31 by Senators Huffsettler of the 52nd and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 8 of Title 31 of the OCGA relating to the care and protection of indigent and elderly patients so as to provide for the establishment.
Finance.
Senate Bill 32 by Senators Brass of the 28th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 50-18-72 of the OCGA relating to when public disclosure not required so as to exempt personal records.
Judiciary.
Senate Bill 33 by Senators Dixon of the 45th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 1 of Title 51 of the OCGA relating to general provisions regarding torts so as to provide a cause of action against perpetrators for victims.
Judiciary.
Senate Bill 34 by Senators Dixon of the 45th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 12 of Title 19 of the OCGA relating to name change so as to provide that victims of human trafficking may petition for name change under
Judiciary.
Senate Bill 35 by Senators Parent of the 52nd and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 21 of the OCGA relating to elections and primaries generally so as to revise the
Ethics.
Senate Bill 36 by Senator Jones of the 10th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 21 of the OCGA relating to elections and primaries generally so as to provide a definition.
Ethics.
Senate Bill 37 by Senators Butler of the 55th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Title 21 of the OCGA relating to elections so as to enact the agreement among the states to elect the president by national.
Ethics.
Senate Bill 38 by Senators Parent of the 42nd and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 21 of the OCGA relating to primaries and elections generally so as to provide for a
Ethics.
Senate Bill 39 by Senators Jones II of the 22nd and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 21-2-216 of the OCGA relating to qualifications of electors generally, re-registration of
Ethics.
Senate Bill 40 by Senators Jordan of the 6th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 21 of the OCGA relating to elections and primaries generally so as to provide the time and method for opening and tabulating absence. Senate Bill 41 by Senators Huff-Settler of the 52nd and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Titles 47 and 48 of the OCGA relating to retirement and pensions and revenue and taxation, respectively, so as to create the Tax Commissioner's Retirement Fund. Senate Bill 42 by Senators Mullis of the 53rd and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 20-14-33 of the OCGA relating to indicators of quality of learning in individual schools and school systems.
Education and youth.
Senate Resolution 26 by Senators Harper of the 7th and others, a resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to authorize the state to incur general obligation debt in order to make loans or grants to certain counties, municipalities,
Appropriations.
Senate Resolution 27 by Senators Beach of the 21st and others, a resolution recognizing Dr. Charles Fraser Stanley and dedicating a road in his honor and for other purposes.
Transportation.
Senate Resolution 28 by Senators Cowser of the 46th and others, a resolution requesting that the United States Congress call a convention under Article 5 of the Constitution of the United States limited to proposing an amendment to the Constitution of the United States.
Government oversight.
Senate Resolution 29 by Senators Cowser of the 46th and others, a resolution applying for a convention of the states under Article 5 of the United States Constitution and for
Government
other.
oversight.
Senate Resolution 30 by Senators Cowser of the 46th and others, a resolution appointing Matthew Mashburn to the State Election Board and for other purposes.
Rules.
This completes the order, Mr. President.
Mr. Secretary, we now read reports of standing committees.
We have two, or do we have three? Three.
Mr. President, the Senate Committee on Finance has had under consideration the following legislation and has instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendation. Senate Bill Number 6, do pass. Respectfully, Senator Huff-Settler of the 52nd. Mr. President, the Senate Committee on Judiciary has under the consideration the following legislation and has instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendation. Senate Bill 9, do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Senator Strickland of the 17th. Mr. President, the Senate Committee on State and Local Government Operations has had under consideration the following legislation and has instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendations. House Bill Number 69, do pass. Respectfully submitted, Senator Anderson of the 24th. This completes the order, Mr. President.
All right. Easy for me to say. All right, it's now time for morning roll call. It's now time for morning roll call. Are there any motions to excuse? This would be a first. Oh, Chair recognizes the senator from the 33rd for his.
Sorry about that, Mr. President.
No
Thank
problem.
you and good morning. I ask unanimous consent to excuse the senator from the 37th, 35th, 36th, 38, 55. Did I miss anybody?
I was waiting for you to call my name. Without objection, the senators from the 37th, 35th, 36th, 38th, and 55th are excused. Chair recognizes the majority whip.
Motion to excuse the senator from the 8th.
Without objection, the senator from the 8th is excused. The chair recognizes the minority whip. He waves. He just wanted to say hi. Are there any additional motions to excuse? The chair sees none, and the secretary. Chair now recognizes the minority whip.
I've changed my mind, Mr. President. I'd like unanimous consent to excuse the senator from the 26th for business outside the Capitol.
Without objection, the senator from the 26th is excused. Chair recognizes, I'm glad we had a little pause there. The chair recognizes the senator from the 2nd.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like for unanimous consent to excuse the gentleman from the 10th. The senator from the 10th.
Without objection, the senator from the 10th is excused. All right, the secretary will call the roll of senators. Signify your presence by voting the yea switch. The secretary will unlock the machine. Mr. Secretary, please close the machine. It's now time for a morning devotional, and I would ask that all senators please take your seats and cease all audible conversations. I'd also like to ask that our doorkeepers secure the chamber at this time. I'd like to recognize my good friend and the senator from the 33rd District to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance and to introduce us to our chaplain of the day.
Thank you, Mr. President. Salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Georgia flag. I pledge allegiance to the Georgia flag, the principles which it stands, wisdom, justice, and moderation. Thank you. Good morning, my fellow senators, colleagues, friends, and y'all. Today I'm here to introduce the pastor of the day, Pastor Warren Dillon. With a BS in Science Math from the Southern University in Louisiana and a master's degree of arts in psychology from the Georgia University in Carlton, Georgia, Dr. Dillon started his professional career as a system engineer with IBM in 1968. After 30 years of service to the corporation, he retired fully, answered the call of God upon his life, and was officially ordained in ministry in 1985. Along with his call, Dr. Warren Dillon continued his education, received both a master's and a doctorate of theology from Gwinnett Hall Baptist College in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and a doctorate degree of theology from Luther Rice University in Atlanta, Georgia. Along with his late wife, Miss Velma Dillon, the Dillons co-founded and found the Church of In His Image and His Learning Center in 1992, In His Image Christian Academy in 1998, and Reach One International Missions in 1999. Dr. Warren Dillon has taught in numerous capacities. He performs as a professor of the Biblical Studies at Gwinnett Hall Baptist College and is headmaster instructor of In His Image Christian Academy. He also acted as the host of In His Image radio broadcast and has facilitated numerous seminars, workshops, and revival throughout Georgia, Louisiana, Jamaica, and East Africa. I remember when it was talk about somebody running for a state senator in District 33rd, Dr. Dillon, Pastor Dillon, mentioned my name, and I started laughing. And he said, you know, Sarah laughed too, and she conceived. I said, well, I don't think I'm going to conceive, but I'll take in consideration what you're talking about. Now I want to welcome Pastor Dillon.
Well, praise the Lord. Thank you all for having me this morning. Thank you, Chairman Dr. Rhett. This morning, I was asked, did I have a word? And I believe in my heart that there is a word. But there's a condition, and the scriptures tell us that we have to open wide our mouth. I guess I can take this off. That we have to open wide our mouth and be filled. This morning, I thank God for allowing us an opportunity to come and, especially at such a time like this, I'm sure that most of us would agree that in the last 12 months that we have seen some things and went through some ordeal that we have never seen in our entire lives, which led me to believe that since we serve an almighty God who never makes any mistakes, even though we sometimes want to question that we who are here for such a time. And hopefully today God will give insight and encouragement to all of you all to embrace the challenge that's been placed before us in this time. I'm reminded of how when we look at the situation and we wonder, why me? And so the answer should be, why not me? I'm thankful that because of God's infinite wisdom and knowledge, that he has not only called us and equipped us, and if I have to use an analogy of today, football season and Super Bowl coming around the corner, I would like to believe that we are the #1 team. And God has given us an A game so that we might be able to not only combat, but to also be victorious in what is facing us today. I would also like to remind you that, as it is said, that history has its eyes on us, but I want to also encourage you that we are compassed about with a great cloud of witness, and that witness are people that know us and have birthed us, and we were in that lawn many, many centuries ago. But they are cheering for us that we might usher in the time that has been promised us. And all through ages, they've been talking about a city. And I'm reminded of our late President Reagan, who in his last address, and he was reminiscing about that city. And I think that if we can grasp hold of the vision that he was trying to display, was not a new vision, it's a very old vision, and yet it's still alive and well today. And how he said that he saw this shining city that was strong, built upon a rock, and God had blessed this city. And that this city was steaming with commerce, and people were coming to and fro, and there was creativity within this city. And that people of all kinds would come to this city, and they would live in harmony. And then he went on to say that in the city, that if the city needed walls, that there were doors in the walls, and that people could come and go freely. I'm so encouraged by that, because I think we still can envision that city, all of us today, and that we can usher in that city in this generation. Somebody said, well, maybe not this generation, but I think we can move the ball further, and I think that's what we are called to do, advance the ball further. And I want to encourage you today because I think, and I believe with all my heart, that we've been equipped to do that. We're reminded that our Father said that He would not only guide and instruct us, but He would teach us in the way we ought to go. And I'm reminded of, because there are times when we ponder and look around and may not know what to do or where to go. And I'm reminded that the secret is to have our eyes. As the prophet said, my eyes is on you. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to deal with this, but my eyes is on you. And I pray today that our eyes is on Him, that we might get direction. Let me also remind you that there are times where we have our own individual likeness and dislike. But let me remind you that we are told that no one is in authority unless God ordains it. So I want you to know that you're in the right place at the right time. And let me just also share with you that we've been given a promise that there's coming a time where men would take their sword and turn it into plowshares, and take their spears and turn it into plume and hooks. And that there's coming a time that there'll be no wars, that we'll live in peace and harmony. And that every man, and I'm looking forward to this one with all my heart, that every man will sit under his own vine and fig tree and won't be afraid. And I think that God has given us in America such a time and a place and a privilege to do that. We're that city that sits on the hill, and I thank God that we all are here on this team, and that we can usher in this city, and that we can be a haven for the whole world. And let me just, in my closing, let me just, as we've been instructed that we ought to be a blessing, and so let me just bless you all today. According to God's word, He said that the Lord bless you, and the Lord keep you. The Lord make His face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up His countenance upon you and give you peace. And I pray, God, that you would take that and spread it. Be blessed today.
Are there any unanimous consents? And shockingly, I don't see any. That's funny. Does any senator wish to rise on a point of personal privilege? Chair recognizes the senator from the 6th for the purpose of introducing the doctor of the day.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is my honor to introduce the Doctor of the Day, Dr. Randy Reiser. He is a founding partner of the Physician Spine and Rehabilitation Specialist Group in Sandy Springs. He graduated Phi Beta Kappa from Bates College and received his Doctor of Medicine degree from the University of Toledo School of Medicine. He's board certified in pain management, and he's been named one of the top doctors in Atlanta by Atlanta Magazine and one of the top doctors in the country by U.S. News and World Report. We really appreciate him being here, and as always, we hope that he has nothing to do today. Thank you. I yield the well.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 28th for a point of personal privilege.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to just really thank the Rules Chairman for pushing my button and inviting me down here to speak. And so, Mr. Rules Chairman, thank you for all you do, and I'm glad we finally found something you're good at.
I actually am glad I gave you that opportunity. Apologies from the chair, Senator. Chair recognizes the senator from the 34th, and hopefully Senator Mullis hasn't been by, or Senator from the 53rd has not been by your desk lately.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the Senate. I rise this morning from a text that I have received from one of my seniors. As we all know, the seniors are a vulnerable population during this pandemic. And it simply reads, "Help, I need to get my shot. Please help." When my seniors send stuff like this, I have to come down and ask, what else can we be doing to try to help our most vulnerable population? I know that we've been all talking about the process, the availabilities, but she's 80. She has conditions. She happens to reside in Clayton County. And unfortunately, too many of our seniors are reaching out to not only myself, but to the senator from the 44th that brought it up in appropriations. We have got to do something about making sure this most vulnerable population in our communities are put on the list. They may not have direct access to technology to get in the lines, but we know who they are. And if not, we know who we are in this chamber, and if you all tell us, we can help facilitate it. We want our communities to all, in this great state of Georgia, stay as healthy as possible and live as long as possible. In closing, I will let it be known that I've been asked several times about my outfit. Today is Kamala Harris Recognition Day here in the chamber, at the Capitol, in the Georgia State Capitol. The pearls, the white, and of course the chucks. These sneakers are something that she loves to wear, staying comfortable, and this is the reason we are in our white today. Thank you, Mr. President. I'll yield the well.
The chair's not certain if this is retaliation or intentionality, but Chair recognizes the distinguished Rules Chairman for a point of personal privilege. His absence leads me to believe it was retaliation, possibly from the senator from the 28th. All right, you've got a consent calendar of privilege resolutions before you. Does any senator wish to remove a resolution from the consent calendar? The chair hears none. Is there objection to adoption of the resolutions on the consent calendar? Chair hears none, and the resolutions on the consent calendar are adopted. Are there any motions to withdraw and commit? The chair sees none. Just want to give some guidance as to where we're headed here. This is the posture that we're in regarding the amended fiscal year 2020 appropriations bill. We are now waiting for the House to consider and pass the supplemental appropriations bill later today. What we plan to do is to recess until we receive the message from the House that they have passed the budget, and then reconvene, first read, and assign the bill to the Appropriations Committee. Following that, we will adjourn until tomorrow morning. So I just wanted to give you a heads up, just because it's a little bit out of sequence. And at this time, I'd like to recognize the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. What you said. Now, Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate stand in recess until such time as the Senate receives a message from the House that it has passed the amended FY21 appropriations bill. Upon receipt of that message, the Senate will reconvene for the purpose of first reading and assigning the bill to a committee. After the bill is read and assigned to the committee, the Senate will stand in recess until 4 p.m., at which time the Senate will adjourn for the day and reconvene at 10 a.m. Friday, January 29th, 2021.
You did a better job than me. Mr. Secretary, do you have any announcements?
The Rules Committee will meet upon recess in room 450 in the Capitol. Veterans, Military, and Homeland Security Committee will meet at 8 a.m. in 307 CLOB. The Ethics Committee is canceled. Public Safety Committee will meet at 1 p.m. in MES 1. Transportation Committee is canceled. Agriculture and Consumer Affairs Committee will meet at 2:15 in MES 1. Regulated Industries and Utilities Committee will meet at 3:30 p.m. in room 450 in the Capitol. Government Oversight Committee is canceled. This completes the order, Mr. President.
Chair recognizes the hardworking and distinguished Appropriations Chairman for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the Senate, remind you again, we anticipate that the House will pass over the 2021 amended budget later this afternoon. In expectation of that, and also in expectation of getting the Senate process moving quickly, our Appropriations Subcommittee meetings will begin tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. If you're on appropriations, please check the agendas. Please check your desk before you leave today. Make sure you know when your subcommittee is meeting, because if you show up tomorrow morning at 9 or 10 o'clock and plan to find out then, you may find out that your committee has already met. If you're meeting in 450, if you see that your meeting is occurring in 450, those will be done via Zoom. We do not have Zoom capabilities in the MES room, so your subcommittee chair will contact you and reach out to you if you are meeting in the MES and do not feel comfortable being there in person. They will contact you about how you can get your questions in, get them answered, and be a participant in the process then as well. As always, if you have any questions about this, I'll hang around at the front of the chamber after we recess to answer anything you have. Thank you so much for all the work you've put in already in participation in this process. I appreciate it a ton. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the will.
I'm going to give the Majority Leader a second to unpush his button. All right, so the benediction is going to be a little bit different, so hold your yeas and nays. The Majority Leader has asked for unanimous consent that the Senate stand in recess until such time as the Senate receives a message from the House that it has passed the amended fiscal year 2021 appropriations bill. Upon the receipt of the message, the Senate will reconvene for the purpose of first reading and assigning the bill to committee. After the bill is read and assigned, the Senate will then stand in recess until 4 p.m., at which time the Senate will adjourn for the day and reconvene at 10 a.m. Friday, January 29th, 2021. Is there objection to the request? The chair hears none, and the Senate will stand in recess.